Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today's video is going to be things I wish I knew before going into middle school. So just basically a middle school advice video. I really want to help you, kind of be like a big sister and give you some advice, and I am certified to do this because I'm pre-recording this, but I'm graduating from middle school on June 9th, and that is the day that this video is going up. Since I am graduating middle school, I'm going on to high school in the fall. I wanted to share my knowledge that I have gathered during my middle school years and experience and give it to you guys, whoever's watching that is nervous about middle school or excited about middle school or just want some advice on middle school. Before we get into this video, please like this video, comment down below how you're feeling about going into middle school if you are watching this video and you're going into middle school, and also subscribe to my YouTube channel. It would really mean a lot to me. And anyway, no more talking, let's get into the video. So this video is going to be divided into 3 parts. So the academic aspect of middle school, the social aspect of middle school, and then just some miscellaneous advice that I would like to give you guys. I have my computer right here because I wrote down a ton of notes so I remember all the advice that I have to give you guys. I also asked my best friend who is graduating 8th grade some advice, so some of the advice that I give you guys is from her as well as from me. I just wanted to give her some credit there. So first I'm going to be talking about the academic part of middle school. So I'm going to read one of my first tips right now. The grades that you receive in middle school will not matter in the future. They don't go on your transcript. Colleges don't look at your middle school grades. However, you should still try to get good grades so that you know how to get them before you go to high school. The motto I want to give you guys that wraps that up is try your best, but don't stress. Try your best because it is very important to establish good study skills to prepare for high school in 3 years, but you also don't have to stress because colleges and in the future, your middle school grades really do not matter. I did really well in middle school, mostly because middle school is very easy compared to what high school is gonna be like. My second tip is to make good relationships with your teachers, because in 8th grade, when you're starting to select your courses for high school, you're gonna want recommendations. Like, for example, I've had the same French teacher since 7th grade. I was in her class in 7th grade, part 1 of French 1, and then in 8th grade, I was in part 2 of French 1. And we've established such a good relationship because I've been in her French class for 2 years now, and she recommended me for French 2 honors at the high school I'm going to be going to. And I do not think she would have done that if we didn't have such a good relationship. So it is very important to not be the jerk in class who is rude to your teachers and to actually make good relationships with your teachers. Something I didn't do and I wish I did is to learn good study skills. Whoever is watching out there, please know that while I got good grades, I didn't study. I still don't know how to study, and I'm going into high school in the fall. I literally just started learning at the end of 8th grade how to really study, but I've never had good study skills, even though I've had good grade skills, you know what I'm saying? Not everyone gets good grades if they don't study, so you really need to learn good study skills. I can link some articles down below on how to study that I've been reading recently. It's something that I didn't do, and it will really help you in middle school to get good grades. If you don't have a weirdly photographic memory like me, it'll just really help you in the future, especially in high school when you go in 3 years. It's important in middle school to start figuring out what kind of separates you from the rest of the crowd, something that makes you unique. Start to figure that out because it's going to be very important to start learning.
Okay, so what do I like to do? What makes me different?
Because going into middle school, I really didn't know. I mean, I do professional acting, so that's one thing that made me different, but it wasn't really something that could help me academically. So I just started poking my nose in things that I might be interested in, and that is how I landed a spot in the debate team. I also joined the student newspaper because I love to write. I just explored different electives. I wanted to see what I like to do. Just kind of start exploring what you like to do, because you go into middle school when you're around 11 years old and you finish when you're around 14 years old. So these years are some of the most important years in your whole life for figuring out who you are. It's just important to start figuring out what you like. It doesn't have to be so deep and exaggerated
okay, if I join the student newspaper, I have to be a newspaper writer when I grow up.
No, you do not have to. Just start seeing what you like. Start exploring. Something I was really nervous about that I really shouldn't have been is I thought there was gonna be so much homework in middle school. Now, it really depends on the school, but at my school, I had literally less homework than I had in elementary school. You do a lot of work in your classes, and honestly, whatever you don't finish in your class becomes homework. There is not that much homework until high school, because I've heard about how much homework I'm gonna have in high school. So just enjoy the last chunk of school that you don't have tons of homework in, you know what I'm saying? Huge tip that I wish I knew before going into middle school, and that is do not go school supply shopping. It ends with your teacher telling you on the very first day of school that you really don't need any of the stuff that you bought at Staples that totaled in hundreds of dollars, and then you have to tell your mother to return all that stuff that totaled in hundreds of dollars, and she's going to be really mad at you because you wasted all of her money and all of her time going to Staples and buying school supplies when you really didn't even need any of them to begin with. I mean, some schools send out school supply lists like before the year starts, but a lot of schools just give the list of supplies to you on the first day of school, and then there you are with binders and notebooks that you don't need on the first day of school. So please, I'm begging you, do not go school supply shopping before the first day unless your school explicitly states otherwise. Another tip I have for academics and everything is to try to memorize your schedule and your locker combination before school starts, because this is the first year that you're switching classes. This is the first year that you're probably going to get a locker, and it's all really exciting, but honestly, I forgot my locker combination a lot the first week of school. Also my schedule, I like didn't know the order of my classes, you know what I'm saying? Just keep it somewhere just in case. Like, even if you really have memorized it before school starts, keep your schedule somewhere, keep your locker combination somewhere. You do not want to have to go through losing it and having to go to the office to get a new one. Ugh, just please be prepared for the first day of school with memorizing your schedule and your locker combination. Speaking of lockers, I am begging you to buy a good lock before school starts. This is something that I wish I knew. I did not get a good lock before middle school started. You want to know the lock I got? I got those locks where you get to like pick a word to type it. No. You have to get just one of those old-fashioned spin the dial locks with the numbers on them. Please buy a good lock, because I had to have the school janitor smash my locker door because it was jammed in front of the whole school during passing period. So he basically smashed my locker open in front of everyone to see because my lock broke because it was a cheap, crappy one, and you do not want to go through that. I promise you, it is so humiliating. All right, so now we are on to the social aspect of middle school, which is probably for most pre-teenagers what you are really concerned about when you're going into middle school. For the boys aspect, let me just say, I didn't date in middle school. You really don't date in middle school. The boys are really stupid, and since this video that I'm making is more directed towards girls or people who identify as girls, it's just don't date guys in middle school. They're really dumb, and it's been proven that girls mature faster both emotionally and physically, so you really don't want to date a guy that looks like he's still in 3rd grade, you know what I'm saying? You probably won't want to date at all until you're in high school. I went into middle school thinking,
oh my god, guys are gonna start flirting with me. I'm gonna start getting boyfriends. Ew, this is the time when I start dating.
No. My 11-year-old self would be very disappointed in me to know that I have not had a boyfriend yet, and I'm 14 years old. And honestly, it's a good thing to not date until you're ready, and you're really not ready until high school. I'm just telling you, you can date if you want to, but 99.999% of the time, you won't even find a guy to date, and if you do, the relationship will probably last 2 weeks. I know this from my classmates. So I've seen, dating. It's not really like dating though. Like in middle school, there's just not much that you do. You know what I'm saying? You can do what you want. I'm not gonna tell you, don't date. It's cute. I've seen kids from my school kind of dating a little, very G-rated kind of stuff. It's just not going to last most of the time. It's just not really important until you get to high school. I'm just gonna tell you that. My next tip is, this is based off experience, and I wish I didn't do this. Don't try to be friends with the popular group. There's always gonna be a popular group at a middle school that's just gonna make you feel bad about yourself. They're gonna treat you like you're the joke the whole time you're trying to fit in their group. I tried this with the group of popular kids at my school, and it ended with me crying while staring at my phone as they rejected me from walking over to Starbucks with them after school. It's just not worth it. Just be friends with your friends, and don't try to be friends with a popular group. My 7th grade self probably would not listen to me saying this, and I know you're probably not gonna listen to this, but it's something I wish I knew. Just try to stay away from them. I mean, be nice, be polite. You don't want to be on their bad side. Just don't try to be friends with them. You know what I'm saying? Something else that will really help the social part of your life is joining clubs, and joining clubs to make friends, joining as many clubs and sports as you can. They're good for the future, and they are great for making friends. This is honestly something I wish I did more of. In the last years of my middle school experience, I started poking my nose in debate and newspaper, but I really didn't join any sports, even though they were available at my school. I didn't really join any of the major clubs. I just thought to myself,
I'm too good for that. I really don't need to do that.
But it's not true. I really wish if I could go back to starting 6th grade that I would have gotten more involved with everything to do with my school. I only went to one dance in middle school, and it wasn't really even a dance. I just got bullied the whole time. After that, it just kind of ruined it for me, but don't let anything bad ruin it for you. Just go to all your school's events and join clubs and join sports. Get involved for me, please, because I'm planning on getting involved a ton in high school because I really want to make up for not getting involved too much in middle school. I don't know. I just don't really know why now looking back I didn't get involved. A lot of it is because the last year and a half of my middle school experience was spent online because of the pandemic, but I know that before that I could have gotten involved more. Something that I actually did kind of do, and it's really helpful, is to try to make at least one friend in each class. And this starts applying when you go into middle school, and it also applies when you go into high school. Making one friend in each class is just so amazing because if you're not paying attention, you don't know what the homework is, or you just have a question about the class or just something, it's just really helpful to have one friend in each class that you can text or just call call or talk to. And I know it's easier said than done, but just try. I also, relating to this, just want to say that it's okay if you don't have a huge friend group. I literally only had like 2 friends in middle school and I was completely fine, even though I did wish sometimes I had more friends. But honestly, in my opinion, I feel like there's more drama the larger the friend group gets, and it is good if you want to have like a ton of friends, but in my opinion, just having a couple friends is okay, and you don't have to stress out about not having a huge friend group. A huge tip that I have to give you is to be nice to everyone you encounter, even people who are mean to you, because you do not want to start unnecessary drama. You want everyone to like you. You do not want to be in the middle of something. My mom honestly has given me this advice. I actually haven't listened to this advice up until like recently, and it's just so true, and I'm planning on taking it with me for the rest of my life. I saw this quote on TikTok that said, you want to be the one who's being talked about and not the person who's doing the talking. And that basically means that you want to be the one that is just morally higher, and you want to be the one who's just nicer to people, and you don't want to be the one who's talking about people. So just don't create drama, don't talk about people behind their backs, and just be nice to everyone. I know you probably won't take this advice. I know you're gonna screw up. It's normal to screw up, but if you don't want drama, then please follow my advice. I'm begging you, based off the messed up nature of the kids I've seen at my middle school, do not vape, do not do drugs, do not drink, and also don't like lose your virginity or anything like that. I've never come close to doing any of these things. Like, I was about to say I'm not cool for doing these things, but doing these things does not make you cool. You are literally 11 to 14 years old when you're in middle school. That is, you are so young. Like, I'm not even planning on doing any of that stuff in high school. You should not be doing anything remotely adult like that. And a lot of kids probably might make fun of you for this or think you're not cool for this, but you know what? You are cool for not wanting to do things that might damage yourself and damage what you think of yourself in the future. I mean, of course, do whatever you want to do, but in my opinion, that stuff is very mature and very adult. And when you're 11 to 14 years old, you really can't like understand what those things truly mean. So please, if you take one thing from this video, don't try to do any of that stuff. I'm very happy with myself for not doing any of that stuff in middle school. I have never vaped, I have never drank, I've never smoked, I've never done drugs, and I have also not lost my virginity, and I'm very happy with myself because I do not think it is smart to do those things before you are ready. You are not emotionally or even physically ready to do any of those things when you are 11 to 14 years old, so just please, for me, do not do any of that stuff until you are really ready, and you are not ready in middle school, in my opinion. My next tip is to really not take anything seriously. Like, honestly, I took so much seriously in middle school that I really shouldn't have, and I literally forgot about the next day. Just try to be carefree and open. Don't think that the friends you go into in 6th grade will be your friends when you're leaving 8th grade and going into high school. They will most likely either not be friends by the time you're done with middle school, or you'll have new friends, or you're just kind of grow apart. I mean, it's just natural. You might be scared thinking this, but you probably will change a lot in middle school. I can say with complete truth and certainty that I changed a lot from 6th grade when I was 11 and I went into middle school to now being 14 and leaving middle school. Another big tip that I honestly just want to add to the social part, and it's kind of hard for everyone, but I just wanted to quickly add it. Have a friend outside of school. My best friend does not go to my school. We go to completely different schools, and honestly, I feel like we wouldn't be best friends if we went to the same school, because you don't get involved with all that drama with someone who goes to school outside of your school. And I know it's easier said than done, because if I didn't have my best friend, I really wouldn't have any friends outside of school, but it's really important to just have someone that you know outside of school so that you can have someone to vent to about the drama without like getting caught up in the drama or being worried that they're gonna like spread the drama. You know what I'm saying? If I didn't have my best friend throughout middle school who doesn't go to my school, I really don't know what I would be doing. She's what's been keeping me standing. She's my support system. She's my life or death. Okay, so as someone who is graduating middle school in an 8th grade, the 8th graders that you think are
so intimidating,
they are actually wishing to be your age again. They're wishing to be in 6th grade again. This whole year, I have felt like I'm growing up so fast. I felt like I want to be in 6th grade again. I'm honestly jealous of you guys if you're going into middle school. Most of us feel like we're still in 6th grade. Like, as I said, I do recognize that I've changed a lot since 6th grade, but honestly, there's still a piece of myself that still feels like I'm in 6th grade. So I don't feel like I'm so superior to you guys. Just don't be scared of the 8th graders. We really don't care. Of course, there's gonna be some mean 8th graders who take the advantage of being in a higher grade than you and take it to their advantage, but the majority of us really don't care, and we honestly want to help you. Like, it's making me so happy to make this video. If you are about to go into middle school and I'm helping you, that makes me so happy. Another thing that you might be nervous about that I haven't quite touched on yet is changing in the locker room, because this is around the time that you're gonna start having to change for gym or PE or whatever your school calls it, like physical education. Don't be self-conscious while you're changing in the locker room. Literally every single person is. I thought everyone would be staring staring at me. But honestly, something funny I noticed is that everyone's staring at themselves. Every single person, even if they're popular, thinks that they're going to be judged or they're gonna be self-conscious in the locker rooms, and of course you will your first try, but it's really not that big of a deal. Most people are staring at themselves and not really at you, and that applies to mostly everything in life, so just don't be nervous. But if you really are too self-conscious, then go to the bathroom or a separate changing room. A few times when I was like really bloated, I did that, and I knew some people at my school who did that. Relating to this, I don't want to sound mean, but please maintain good hygiene in middle school. Wear deodorant, don't shower once a week or anything like that. Don't show up to school smelling. You do not want to be that one kid that smells, I promise you. It's really not your fault. It's just you're at the age right now. If you're around 11 or 12 years old or even 10 years old, you're around the age when you start smelling. So just please maintain good hygiene. I just wanted to end the social aspect of middle school, the advice part, by saying you are a baby. I thought I was so old going into middle school at 11 years old. I was like,
oh my god, I'm going into middle school. I'm so cool.
Even 14-year-olds, even me right now, 8th graders are babies. Like, high schoolers are babies. You're really so tiny right now, and just don't rush or anything like that. Just recognize that you're a baby. And don't let people try to treat you older than you are, and don't try to treat yourself older than you are. Just recognize the fact that you are still very young. Okay, so now for the last section of this video, which is the miscellaneous section, like miscellaneous advice section. And the first thing is, you might be nervous about switching classes, but honestly, you will love switching classes. Because in elementary school, you're sitting literally in one class all day, and I didn't realize how much I despised that until I got to middle school and started rotating. It's just interesting, and you don't get as bored because like every hour or so, you're switching classes and switching classrooms and different teachers. This is the year that you're gonna start seeing different teachers in different classrooms like every single period. It just really helps to change up the day. Something else that I feel like a lot of elementary schools do is assign seating, and honestly, middle schools still do assign seating. I thought I would actually get to pick a new seat every day, but honestly, you might still have assigned seats. You really end up just sitting in the same seats in the same class every single day. Like for example, in science, there weren't really assigned seats, but everyone just kind of gravitated to the seat that they sat in every single day in class. You'll get into a pattern. You're not gonna like switch seats every day. I honestly feel like it's gonna be the same way in high school. Something else that I want to tell you to do is to keep your phone off and make sure it's off before entering school. I think it's different in high school, but in some schools, they literally just make such a huge deal about it, and they take your phone away and you get so embarrassed having to go to the office and pick it up, and it's not even your fault. Like even if you weren't on your phone and your phone just dings, just make sure your phone is off if you have a cell phone and you're planning on taking it to school. Also, I just wanted to say you will learn your way around your school quicker than you would expect. I thought I was gonna be so lost, and it really honestly depends on your school, as everything does, all these tips, but many middle schools aren't that big. You will find your way around. Like the first day you might be late to a class because you don't know where it is. You'll find your way around your classes. Like that's just not something to stress about. Your brain is more capable of things than you think. You won't be lost all year. And the last note I would like to end on for the miscellaneous section is that middle school is really not as big a deal as you think it is. The only difference between middle school and elementary school is that you get to switch classes and the people are meaner. That's literally it. My last tip that I have for you guys that I say for the very end of this video, because it is such a huge one that I wish I knew before going into middle school, and that is do not rush the days. Do not wish to be into high school as soon as possible. Do not take the days for granted. Do not rush your middle school experience. Right now, as an 8th grade graduate, I know that in 6th grade and in 7th grade and most of my 8th grade year until I like came to and realized it was dumb, I was like, I can't wait for high school. I can't wait to get out of middle school. Oh my god, I'm so excited for high school. Let's just focus on high school. I hate middle school. Please enjoy your middle school experience, because honestly, if you're watching this and you're in middle school and you're going into high school soon, high school is gonna be such a big deal, and middle school is one of the only times when you're gonna be treated like a kid. So please enjoy it. Do not rush. This is one of the biggest things that I wish I could go back and do. Do not try to rush. You will regret it. You will totally regret it. Like on the day you're seeing this, I'm graduating middle school, so I don't really know yet. I haven't been to high school yet, but I feel like high school is a bigger deal than middle school, and middle school is one of the last times when you're really gonna feel like a kid, a genuine young kid that's not really an adult teenager yet. If you take any piece of advice from this video, that piece of advice should be do not rush it. You want to look back on it with fondness and appreciating that you didn't rush it, and you want to look back on it and appreciate that you still acted like you were a kid yourself, and you didn't let anyone treat you like you were older than just being a kid, because honestly, when you're 11 to 14 years old, you're still a kid. So just don't put too much pressure on yourself. Don't try to grow up too fast, and just don't rush it. Middle school is going to be really fun for you guys, so just enjoy it and don't rush it and just have fun. Middle school is going to be awesome for you guys, I promise. Anyway guys, that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching it. I really hope that I was able to help you. As I said, some point in my video. It warms my heart so much to know that by filming this video, I could be helping one of you guys going into middle school. So I really hope that I gave you some advice that you're going to use in middle school. And if I did, comment down below what the most helpful piece of advice that I gave in this video was. I actually really like doing these advice videos. So let me know down below if there are any other topics that you would like me to give advice on, because I just really like this. I just really hope that I was able to help you feel less stressed about middle school. And even if you're still feeling the same amount of stress or even more stress about middle school after watching this video, it's okay. It's completely normal. Just don't stress out too much and just take my advice to heart, because honestly, you should be listening to someone who's been through all 3 years of middle school. It'll go by so much faster than you expect. It's going to go by unbelievably fast, faster than anything in the whole world. You literally enter the first day of 6th grade, you blink, and you're graduating 8th grade. That's how I feel, and I'm honestly gonna start crying just thinking about it. I know all adults and moms like say this.
It's gonna go by so fast, where did the time go?
But it's honestly true, and you will learn this more and more as you get older. Time goes by so fast, so please enjoy the time while it is there, and just enjoy middle school. You're gonna have so much fun, I promise you. Before you leave, please like this video, and comment down below if you made it to the end of this video. I'm gonna rock middle school, because all of you out there who's watching this video, you're gonna rock middle school, I promise you that. And also, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. It would really mean a lot to me. And yeah, just thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I love you guys. Bye!